Hello, we're back. It's after Christmas. It's after January, after hunt season. And I thought we might better get back to working on our module. This again started as a demonstration at one of our meetings at our railroad club meetings. It turned into let's maybe do a module to validate this whole scene. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you what we have. This is our module. And also, since then, we've been CNIX superintendent, in the House report, travel court, auto court was released and came in, so I have that. What I'm going to do today is finish painting our mountains and start to work on some color. Remember, we talked about waterfalls. I've got some of that material that I'll show you, and we're going to work with that to try to create a water scene out there and a lot of other stuff. So right now, I'm just going to finish painting up these mountains. Again, I'm using these limited scenics colors, and there's also some more primary colors from Vallejo. We make a lot of airbrush paints that I use and other kinds of things for various hobby work and weathering and that kind of stuff. So my main stuff here, I've got a black and a gray, some white, make a gray, some raw umber, some burnt umber, and we're just going to kind of do our wet on wet technique. We just brush up some of this stuff and go back if I didn't like that, and I'm going to do this. So I'm going to kind of take this apart, shut the camera off, zoom in so you can see. I've given Mr. Producer, he's off. I think he's on vacation. I'm going to ride on the Orient Express or something like that. You haven't seen him. No postcards yet. So he'll show up eventually, and we'll even do some live stuff as we continue to develop this module. So again, we'll get going. So enjoy the little work that we do. I have my little palette, which is leftover 2-inch foam from my project or my inside layout. So I'm going to just put some on my palette here. This is raw umber. That's a little brown. And then I'm going to put some white in another spot here. Not too much. And then I've got some gray, slate gray, which is really black. Ooh. And then I can make some light gray with that if I want, and I can lighten up my browns, which is what I'm going to do. This mountain on my right that we did the other time, it looks good, it's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I might make it a little lighter. This is raw umber. This is burnt umber. It's a little brownier, chocolatey brown, lighter brown. I don't know if I like that as much. And then some of these primary colors I put out because I can use it for a highlight. I use it for a little highlight. I got some darker brown, and then I've got some green. Sometimes I put a little green highlight on because I'm going to come back with, some ground stuff to do. So we've got that. I've got to get my water. I don't know if I need to do this, but I got just the water here. Sometimes I spray that. Let me make sure I've got some paper towels here, because that's some of what I do in the last effect. So again, I got this little cheap 99-cent brush, which is really worn out. Someday I'll get some new ones. And what we're going to do here, right? So it's wet on wet, color on color, highlight. You got shading, and if you don't like it, you can keep painting. So I'm going to make a little bit of light brown here. So I'm doing it on my palette. You can see what I'm doing. My paint's going to go on. I'm just mixing colors. Take a little of the white over there, and one a little darker. And let's just do stuff here. Got a little water in that brush, so maybe I got to get my paper towel. I must have forgot stuff since Christmas. I got a little black here. I'm just going to put some highlights in. A little shading here. I can take brown and go over that. I can blend the color, and if I don't like it, I'll put some more black on.
A little white, brown, a little darker brown, a little different color brown. See, put different colors in here, and as I say, everything in nature is random, and after you get done and you mix it all, it will look very good. I'm going to focus on putting a lot of paint on here. I like that dark, I think, better. I think the raw umber is better, so hopefully I got a lot of that. And we have kind of washout stuff here. This is what I mean, I got some of that primary color for a dark highlight. It's, whoa, that's kind of what I wanted to do, but you can touch it here and there. I'm not quite ready for that because I got to make sure all my little nooks and crannies here are painted. You see a little effect there? You got a little black. You never know how it's going to work, and I keep working it until I get what I like. So hopefully you can all hear me well. It's a nice sunny day. The snow is melting. Dry my brush. I have a regular terry cloth towel. So let's see what we have here. I got some little brushes that I may use to get a few little nooks and crannies that I can't get with this big brusher. It's just stubborn. So let me just continue over here. We have a grime on. Let me put some green on it. That's what I mean on here is that, yeah, that's a pretty strong green, but I can put green here. There. I don't want so much green. I want just a suggestion of green, because I might put some green, field grass or something, whatever you want to call it. A little dress it up in a tree. You got to get some pine trees from Bosch. I like those. You can get those at the hobby store. They make some stuff. Super trees is good too. That's a little more fussing, but they're good. So this, got a little color, a little black. Some wash out here. Got just a little bit of that brown. Primary brown, I'll call it. A little heavier tint. Maybe express a little black here. Gonna get some more paint. You can't paint with a dry brush. Kind of getting different browns. I used the burnt umber, which is more chocolatey. That. I don't know if I like it. What if I do this and that? What about some black and brown? What would that do? Oh, like a gray. That's not pretty. But you don't know if you try. It's okay, it's a little dark right there. Maybe we'll do that on purpose. How about a little dark here? Do a drink. And then I'll mix some other brown with it. Wet on wet. Maybe I'll put a little water on there. What happens if I do that? Oh, dilute it a little bit. Move it around. And get some more paint. Cover all this white stuff. This was all Sculptamold with shaper sheet, which is a heavy aluminum foil with some, like a non-woven piece of fabric stuck to it, and you mold it and crunch it and hot glue it the way you want it. And then we put the Sculptamold on. If I got a new brush, I could probably, maybe I'll do that, go over to Lowe's and get some, or Home Depot, or the paint store. They all got these cheap one-time use brushes. See all the white things? I want to get that painted in there. And we need more umber.
I bet the only way he gets a new brush is if Santa brings him one.
Here. I'm kind of getting a lot of stuff going. This is going a little bit faster than I did the other day, or the last time, or the other month, or whenever we did this. I kind of got some stuff. Let me put a little hint of green on there. How about that? Why not? Now let's see what we're missing here. We got some white stuff in here. I think I'll take some Ooh, not mud color. Let's get the white stuff covered. Need a brush. Then we think we've got all what we want. How'd that work out? Pretty good. Actually, I'm kind of getting the effect that I don't need to hardly do a wipe. The last thing, and I think maybe just because I've got a little wetter brush and it's kind of flowing, you see the white of the Sculptamold come through. If it's really painted, you would take a wet paper towel and kind of do it with my finger. I don't know if it'll work as good. And you just get a highlight, you get a worn spot on the mountain. And I may do that yet, because that's what you're supposed to do. This is kind of moving right along. What else do we want to highlight? Do you want to highlight this? Yeah. A little dark brown. I'm going to put a couple of blacks on the end of the bristles. You know, little bristles here. Kind of some highlights. What do I want here? Not bad. I'll highlight here. Little highlight here. Here. You know, this is what I wanted to do. I think if I remember it right. You know, when you see the as things were formed, you see the stratations or whatever of the ground that are tipping up. Delaware Water Gap, you see that down 81 up through Scranton or that area or other places in the country. So I think I was trying to do that. I said, why don't you do that one time? So I'm going to kind of highlight that with maybe some black. And maybe let's do a little bit of brown to suggest direction. What am I suggesting? Is it a suggestion or not a suggestion? I think I did that with the end of my palette knife and the brush and worked that way. And if I do another one, I think I'm going to work on that a little bit more just to make it cool. You know what? For a rookie not having to do this, I got to step back and look at it. I think that's pretty sporty. Unless my eyes are tricking me. Let's see. No, I like it. I got some different color. I got kind of a washout. I got my things there. A little green, a little black, a little shadow. Looks pretty good. Let's get some color on here. I need my paper towels. I have a paper towel. I'm going to wet with my little pail of water here. Not really wet, but yeah, you squeeze a little water out. Damp, a little damp to wet. And I just, man, I don't know, maybe I'd do a little bit more here, but not much. But I want to show you. See, that whitened up just a little bit. And a couple of high spots, I'm just going to hit that. And pull a little paint off. Maybe across there, see? Whoops. You can see, just, again, gives a little tone, a little highlight. Yeah, not much. Not much. Just a little bit. There, might have been too much there. But that's what, yeah. That's probably pretty good. There's another little effect. Whoa, don't mix your paint up. I'm going to put that back down. And that's going to be good. So, I have something that was really offensive. Yeah, I guess that's pretty good. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Alright, so let's do some stuff on this. How about a little, whoop, little highlight. Ooh. A little white. Whoop. No, that's too. That's too. Let's do some dark. Alright, let's get all the little white spots here and then come back and highlight afterwards. It looks like I got just kind of a brown blob. So then let's come back with a little black here. That'll blend in. Kind of blending it. And then I'm going to hit with a little bit of my dark brown. Whoop. Just a couple bristles there, buddy. A little bristle here and there. But see, it's wet on wet and I can mix it in, and if I don't like it, I can come back and do something else. Then I got some different colors. Yeah, I'm going to put a little green on top because I am going to have some green. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get rid of some paint. Maybe I'll come back with some brown. Had I overdone it? Maybe not. Because I know I'm going to sprinkle a lot of little grass and stuff here. Put a little more brown on top, tone it down a little bit. What happened to my black highlights? What did I do there? What have I done? That's a wide brush there. Maybe you need a little one. But you see, put some black on there and then a little brown on there. So, it looks like something. Then again, I'll take my wet brush, or my wet, not brush, the wet paper towel, and just rub it across there. Whoop. This is really fresh white, or fresh paint. And you just touch it a little bit. Almost too much. But you get a little bit of a white. Like a weather-born, sun-baked. I think I'm going to leave that. Now I'm going to do the other one. Production, gotta go. Ooh, got a little black left over on that. Bring a little white. Okay, let's do this. Let's get some color on you. Then we'll do some highlight stuff later. What's some burnt umber? It's a little brown. I went to the hobby store and got some more, rest assured. And we're going to throw that away. 2 points. Get all that stuff covered in. Sometimes these bristles aren't stiff enough, and I have that little small brush. I did that before on the other mountain just to get all the white. Oh, you don't, there's a few in here. It adds to it. Or I'm going to say it adds to it. You aren't going to notice it, not by the time you're all done decorating. You know, when you put some trees and some ground clutter. I got a little black, right? So, whoop. I think I got to get a new brush. Because this one has got some pretty wild. So I got a lot of brown on, so now I'm just kind of highlighting. I'll highlight a little black. Probably from the trains going by here, it's going to have a lot of dust and coal dust and soot. And probably should put a little stagecoach stop because we're going to put Bud's Burgers here. Half pound grade A U.S. beef with good cheddar cheese, bacon as an adder, on a brioche bun with fried onions. Can't beat it. People on the train would love that. I got a little black. I got a little that. That's pretty good. No, I want to highlight that a little more. Let me see what this really primary color brown does. Just going to do, again, just wet on wet, and a little highlight to make some randomness. Ooh, I don't know if I like that, but it's kind of okay. And then this one I'm going to put a little green on too, because I'll probably have a little grass. Man, that's a lot of green. This primary colors, you just got to touch it. But again, you can dumb it down, dull it down. You can dumb it down too with brown on top, wet on wet. So I got a hint of green on there. And well, that's pretty good. You're getting fast. I think it's good. Either that or my eyes have changed. All right. Yeah. That's pretty good. Where's my wet thing? Waste not, want not. I'll turn it inside out because I'm too lazy to do something else. So let's see. This is pretty wet, so yeah, I'm just gonna, yeah, see? Not need much. See what I'm doing? Me. A little, whoops, that might be a little bit too much, but I can dull it down. Just hit it again, but it's still white. So you just play. Let's do this here just to see, right? So you can see that, but you can dull it back down. There you go. Voila. Now we got a couple of these little outcrops we did over here. So I'm going to move the camera in front of the camera. It's not good technique. Mr. Producer will yell at me. We did this before. Now see, you can compare that to that. I like what I did there a little better. Maybe we will, let me give these a little squirt of water. For no other reason, but I'll let the paint go. And when I got to do that, poor excuse for a wall in the back. I'm going to move these over here. This might be a little, I might be in front of the witness here. Let's see what we got. Put you there. I'll bring my paints a little closer. That's work I did before a couple months ago, right? I can kind of dull that down a little bit. Look what I just did. That's good. And start our work. Same thing we're going to do. Doink, 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 doink. Put some paint on there. Round. I'm going to get most of it brown first. I guess I like the burnt umber more. See, there's the raw. That's the raw umber. This is the burnt umber. It's more reddish chocolatey. It's good for a highlight. Leave your other mountain alone, Donnie. You don't want to monkey with it. Let's get down here and paint some dirt into our creek bed. I'll overlap because then I can come over with the color of the creek, and I'm trying to figure that out. You know, when you look at a creek, you know, if you come down here, it's all dirty brown. I'm kind of thinking up in a sparkling spring stream through the mountain there. All right, so look at that. We got that baby covered. I got to put some highlights on it. That's dull looking. So let's do that. Make my brush. Let's do some highlight of black. A little black here. Along the railroad. I got a lot of paint on that puppy. How about a little more black? Make that a little highlights here and there and there and there and there and there and there. If I don't like it, I'll wait. I can paint more. I do have a lot of paint on here now, so that is not going to be a problem. I've got the little highlight paint, brown, brown. A few black paint on my bristles. A little shadow. What am I thinking about this one? Yeah. A little touch here and there. A little green. 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 Put some green here. On creek bed. I guess the green could be a hint of moss. They'll have grass on top or weeds I'll put on there. Yeah, what am I not liking about that? I think it needs something like that maybe. I don't know. What I'm looking for is less uniformity. I think that's what I'm not liking. So I got that. Let me put a little more brown here. See? There. Brown. Yeah. 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 Okay. Green. A little more green. Okay. Let's give her the wet towel treatment. It's moving right along here, so either this is really good or I'm going too fast and it looks like crap. But either way, by the time we get done decorating with everything, at the end of the day, it'll be beautiful. All right, we got one more here. We'll get that done. And I want to clean up along the back wall there. We can do a wall. So yeah, we'll do that. Get a brush, clean it up. Same deal. Get some more burnt umber. Just cut in there. I've got to make my railroad bridges and then my road bridges behind here and then the auto cart. A lot of stuff to do. There's never end of doing stuff. You got to pick up sticks because the ice storm knocked a bunch down and cut them up with a chainsaw. Get all pitchy. In between that, you gotta have time to work on your railroad. I got stuff to do on my home layout too, like lighting. And I got a firehouse to put together. It's been there a year. And I got a locomotive, older one. I'm trying to figure out how to put a soundtracks decoder in. And all kinds of stress on your railroad. On your railroad. Don't mumble. Let's do this too. Let's put a little highlight here where we want to put it. That'll blend in. Put some on the back. We're going to have to get a little more black out. You know, I'll put some more black. I'm done with black. Alright, let's do that. A little white. I was thinking maybe we should have a contest so we could give this module away, but then I said, man, I like this module. I'll keep it and we'll take it to the shows and I'll add it on again. I already have 4 straights that kind of are linked together. This would not have to be linked together. But it's a good place to get a burger. And stay at the motor court and have a picnic by the waterfalls. Alright, so I got a little bit of highlight in there. Let's go with a little more slate gray or black, doesn't matter. As you're mixing and matching. You don't need much. because I'm almost done with this, and I gotta do the back yet. So let's just, this is that primary brown. I kind of like that for a little highlight here and there. I only need a couple drops. And I think I got enough green. Man, I didn't need that. I keep getting it monkeyed up. Burnt umber. I don't like the burnt umber. Well, I like chocolate, but I don't like the burnt umber. And it looks like chocolate to me. So let's do, this will be the viewing side. The little munchkins will be, whoop, Donnie, tone her down, buddy. You're gonna get muck here. It's not shading. Let's move some of that over here. Yeah. Light brown. So we have a couple white spots in here from the Sculptamold. And I can come back over there. You know, I gotta do the edge here. Duh. All right. What else can we do? Well, this might have some green on it. On the top. That's a little bit of light green. Mix it in, wet on wet. You know what, I got a little opportunity for a little shade here. Clean your brush. Just a little bit of black on the bristles. A little brown back on that. Got a little tone down here. Maybe a couple of other things of black, and then I'll go back to my, just to get some color. Looks like I can't keep my, I must have it too wet there to get the black, black, black on. Come on, I want some black, black, black there. Okay. Sort of. All right. Close enough. Then, my little brown highlighter. It's really strong paint. It's strong. And then come back and mix that. I was getting rid of some brown, so that looks a little goofy. But, you know, I got different colors here. And I think it's time for our mighty wet rag, which is a wet paper towel. And I'm just going to drag that over a couple of things and see what happens. You can see I don't have a lot of pressure if I'm just whipping it by. I did hit this with my finger. Yeah, I don't like that. So I got to feather that back in. It's too white. Just touch it, dull it down. Give a little hint. Yeah. What do you think? Okay. Let me see. I think that is very, very stylish. So this was sort of a wall I was making for you. It wasn't my best effort, but again, actually the Sculptamold was starting to harden up. And I was trying to use my palette knife and just put random bricks and big stone in there. But I want to clean up the brown, because I'm going to cut into, we're going to have a limestone wall, so that's going to be gray. And I did this after that, so I've got to clean this up. So we've got some dirt, and maybe I can cut into the wall, and there's going to be vines and whatever we make. You know, we can just keep going and make stuff work. So I want to get that. Could have some vines and bush and weeds and stuff flowing over when we get done, when we get to that part of the landscaping. I'm just cleaning this up a little bit because this background is going to be like I'll probably use it from that same fellow in Pennsylvania, some Pennsylvania kind of hills. That looks really good because I like them. And if I like them, hopefully you'll like them. Alright, so I got that where there's going to be stuff and I can go over it, and I think I'm going to change my brush type. Not this raggy thing. I'll use a finer brush. So what else can we do with that? Let's do some of that. You know, my little brown. Got some here left. A little black. Yeah, a little black. A little black there. And then maybe I'll do some green, because we're going to have green probably on the top. A little green here. Yeah. Yep. I think that's pretty good. Let's give it the old wet-a-roo thing here. I think not much, but just a little. And only here, just to kind of match what we had going on. Yeah. I think that's wonderful. And so I have I'm just going to make a little tighter cut in there. I got enough paint left without dumping any more. And again, with my landscaping, I can fuzz all that in, and nobody's ever going to see this right here. You could have a tree there, bush, all kinds of stuff. We'll have a little open area playground perhaps, but this is a wall protecting it from the fall down on the mountain or whatever you want to call it. So let's see what I can do here. I'm just going to make a kind of a gray thing and then highlight. So I got some black, got some gray, mixed with my white. What's that look like? Well, we'll see what goes on, because I don't know what this is going to look like, but we're going to see. I'm going to have to come back and highlight it. I'm going to have to highlight it. And make some more gray, black, white. Make it on my palette. Kind of cut there. One nice cut along here. Sort of a nice cut. It's random. There'll be leaves. There'll be crap. There'll be bushes. Actually, you can leave some of those white things there that were my cut-ins. They'd be kind of like mortar. A little black, a little white, black, white. So we're getting it gray, and then I can highlight. What was going on before the sculptable mold was hardening up, and you can, if you get it thick enough, and I didn't have it thick enough here, I have a piece of this green foam underneath just to make the cut, or you know, the bridge across there, so it wasn't as deep, because you can get which if it's thick enough you can push in and it'll kind of indent in like a rock. And I thought about doing it again, but I said, well, I'm not going to do it. But you get the hint of a wall. I think that's sort of looking pretty good. Ooh, I'm going to have to touch some brown there. My back hurts. I got a little stiff brush to knock that in. So that's kind of a wall. Let's clean the brush. Let's monkey around. So let's just do, we might want to highlight. So now we're going to kind of, I guess, weather the wall, but I don't know how this will work. Let's just put some different color in here. And then I want to get some white. I got a little bit of black. Whoa, Donnie, not that hard. Not that hard. But I can always fix it. You know how I'll fix it? Put a little gray on there. Wet on wet. Beautiful thing. A little more highlight here, 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 here. What does brown do? I don't want a lot of brown. Just hint of another color if I got enough. A little bit. A little dirt. Maybe that's just good. Yeah. So I got different colors. And then I want to come across in my brush. I'm going to kind of hit it with some white. Very little white. I don't know how this is going to work. How's this going to work? Light cut. How about that? I'm trying to highlight a brick. A little fine work. Huh, well that's interesting. You know, color on color. I hope you're seeing this. Mr. Producer being gone down on the Orient Express. Yeah, you get a little, your mind, your brain will put things together. So I got this. Don't get ahead of yourself, Don. Hit this with some gray again. Now I'll hit this with some white. I have to get down in front of the camera and look and see what I think. How about this? Doink, doink. Clean my brush. Pure white. Now I got to put some brown around the creek bed there before I'm done with my brown. So I got a little bit more to do. So yeah, that. So just a highlight of white. I wonder what a little green does. Not much. Well, it's something. Sometimes you get this. I don't like the way that looks. You kind of got to stay with the direction of the build. We got limestone blocks here. So I got some greens and some little brown. Maybe I'll finish with a little black. Nothing like a little black. Ooh. Not too much, a little wispy wisp of a wisp. Man. Well, I think that's pretty good. Feathered into the mountains, into the dirt. Good. Okay. The last bit, I think I'm going to do a little raw umber along the creek bed by the mountain. That would be right here, if you can see it. And what we're doing, I'll move this away. So I just want to cover this creek bed and fix up around the mountain. Because I came back later after the fact and put that creek bed in, cut it out. Remember, I cut into the foam. That's nice about having foam. You can cut into it and do different things. I'll retire this brush. And I'll take my water just to look like I know what I'm really doing. I'll give a little dampness. And I'll get behind you. You know, these limestone things I did up on here, they look really dopey. I think I'll fix them. And I need to give myself a little bit of white. Whoa! We got white. So, I'm going to do brown here. So brown with a little bit of burnt umber, right? Raw umber. It's my darker one. And I'm going to just go around here. Get in here and make the dirt go down into the creek bed, and I'm going to come back and cut back in with a color that I'm thinking that I want. It's got to be some kind of a greeny, not as much blue as is greeny, but you know, you want it to look like water, so we can make it look how we want. Let's just put some brown on here. Whoa. And we can get some total brown here. Put our dark brown on here to kind of match where we were. Feather it in. So we are below the water line with brown. I'm going to put some little black on that. I've got to darken it up. I can get some green in there. I got the rest of my brown. The primary, I call it primary brown. So it's really higher quality paint, more pigment. Put a couple more drops in there. I want to kind of highlight that, and I'll come back with some green. About a little green, we have some green on there, yeah. A little green. A little green hint, because we will have stuff. Okay. That's good. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. I got my little shims on my camera here, so it's very technical. Very technical, I tell you. We finished this side of the mountain. We did a little wall with some highlights. It kind of looks like a wall. And then we finished our little outcrops here. That's just to make nice little, I like little meandering. So we have a road coming in here. Our auto court's going to go here, which I have now. We got Bud's Burgers. It was Ma's place that got sold to Bud. Bud's going to make burgers and sell maybe beer. And the road down here go to Mom and Pa Kettles. And so next time, we started a falls here just to see what we could do, but I have water stuff, water materials that I will show you. I've already done some. We'll look at that. And we're going to have to paint a color that we like in the creek bed. And I was thinking about it. Maybe I could, put some sand in there. I got some sand and I got some little pebbles and stuff. I don't know what we'll do with that. Maybe we'll just it's too small, maybe we'll just say, ah, that's good. And we've got some water stuff here, but we have to paint that. And then we'll go from there next time. So it's waterfalls. Next time we see you, have a good one.